Yeah, my dad lied to me about being poor for 18 years. I found out when I borrowed his toolbox to store my community college textbooks, and instead of a hammer, I pulled out stock certificates for $12 million. I know that sounds like a twist in a bad Netflix movie, but let me explain. Because this wasn't about him being cheap. It was about him being terrified. We lived in a cramped Chicago apartment, 1 bedroom, a couch that doubled as my bed, a fridge that hummed so loud I'd sleep with earplugs. Dad worked as a handyman, always saying he wasn't qualified for better jobs. I resented the hell out of it. Resented missing prom, couldn't afford a dress, resented not going to art camp. He said maybe next year until next year never came, resented how I'd watch my friends post family vacation pics while we ate ramen for the 3rd night in a row. I thought he was just bad at adulting. Turns out he was hiding a nightmare. The box changed everything. I yelled at him until my throat hurt. Did you enjoy watching me struggle? Did you think I wasn't strong enough to handle this? I waved the certificates like they were a weapon. He just stood there, face white, and said, "Your aunt. She killed herself over money. Our parents cut her out of the will, and she thought love was a price tag. I swore I'd never let that happen to you." That's when the whole story came out. He was a lawyer once. Inherited the money when his sister died. Hid it because he'd seen what greed did to his family, how it turned love into a transaction. I just stared at him. All I could think was, you chose fear over me. My roommate Mia, who's loaded and hates every penny of it, looked at me like I was crazy when I ranted. "You think your dad's lie was about control?" she said. "Mine used money to avoid talking to me. Yours lied so you'd know he loved you more than cash." I told her she was nuts. But then Dad had a heart attack, stress, the doctor said, and I raced to the hospital, thinking I'd lose him before I could say I was sorry. He woke up pale, holding my hand like it was the only thing keeping him here. "I'm sorry I made you feel small," he whispered. And that's when I broke. Because I'd forgotten the nights he stayed up until 2 a.m. helping me with math, even though he hated numbers. The way he'd find $20 in his pocket when I mentioned needing art supplies. Turns out he'd been taking cash from his savings, not finding it. The time I got stood up for homecoming, and he put on a suit jacket over his flannel and danced with me in the living room to ABBA. I'd been so mad about what I didn't have, I forgot what I did. We went to the mansion he'd hidden, 3 stories, marble floors, 0 photos on the walls. It felt like a museum, not a home. I turned to him and said, "I don't want this. I want our apartment. I want you." So we donated 70% to a scholarship for low-income art kids, my dream, his redemption. I kept my 2 jobs, but now I don't hate them. I do it because he gave me the choice to be someone who pays it forward, not someone who's mad about what she missed. We're not perfect. I still roll my eyes when he hoards grocery coupons, old habits die hard. He still checks the scholarship website every night, grinning like a kid who just got a gold star. But now when he hands me a coupon for coffee, I slip him an extra $5 and say, "Treat yourself." When I think about prom, I think about the night we stayed in, ate mac and cheese, and danced in our socks to Dancing Queen. That's the stuff that matters. Not the dress I didn't get. Not the money he hid. The us he fought to keep. Forgiveness isn't about forgetting the lie. It's about seeing the fear beneath it, the way he'd watched his family fall apart and decided he'd rather be poor with me than rich without me. He's in therapy now, talking about his sister. I'm in art class, painting portraits of the scholarship kids. We still fight sometimes, about money, about secrets, about the way he still thinks I'm 10 and need protecting. But we stopped pretending. Last week, he brought home a framed photo of us from that homecoming dance, me in a thrifted dress, him in his suit jacket over flannel. He hung it in our apartment, right above the couch where I used to sleep. "For the memories," he said. I rolled my eyes. But later, when he wasn't looking, I took a picture of it and sent it to Mia. She texted back, "See? He didn't hide money. He hid love." Yeah, she was right. We're not rich. We're not perfect. We're just Dad and me. And that's enough.